from the station that's on your side. News 12, first at 5, continues.
Next, a Georgia Sweet 16 turns into a nightmare after gunfire erupts.
It made me scared. Me and my siblings were crying.
More details on the search for the shooter tonight, who opened fire, killing at least 2 people.
When bad storms roll in, rural communities can feel the effects the hardest. We look at where people can turn. Plus, it's crossover day under the Gold Dome. Next, live at 5, we tell you which bills make it. But first, one of Augusta's biggest celebrations is just 11 days away. St. Patrick's Day brings big money here to Augusta, yet organizers are struggling to foot the bill and are asking for help with the security aspect.
And now, city leaders are considering footing that bill. Our Craig Allison is live downtown on Broad and James Brown Boulevard. Craig, how much are we talking here?
Well, it's just more than 3,500, but when you consider all the different organizations that could ask the city for help, that stacks up. Basically, if it's not city-sponsored, then those organizers have to ask and pay the sheriff's office directly. And following city leaders' plans to potentially help the Irish American Heritage Society foot the bill with their parade, Commissioner Jordan Johnson also tacked on the Band of Brothers to tomorrow's agenda. They run the city's Juneteenth celebration. And some city leaders are hesitant about opening the door to support these events with a bill that could stack up. This includes Soul Cycle, the Pride Celebration, Iron Man, and more that pay for security directly. And we caught up still with the Savannah River Brewing Company, who says this is one of Augusta's biggest events, with last year breaking sales records.
St. Patrick's Day is definitely one of my favorite holidays. As an establishment that serves a lot of beer, it fits exactly in our wheelhouse. Any excuse, especially during the weekday. The special events are a lot of fun for us. We have great crowds here all the time, but when we can really blow it out for a big event like that, it's a lot of fun for us.
And all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a further look at how much that could cost the city if they continue to fund security for more of these types of celebrations.
Okay, thanks for that update there, Craig, from downtown Augusta. Turning to weather now, we're going to take a live with the state line. Have an update on a little bit cooler outlook in that full forecast in just about 10 minutes. Thanks, Riley. Mayor Garnett Johnson telling us today the State Department of Health says that they will pick Central EMS as Augusta's next ambulance provider, but he says that he has not got anything in writing yet. The city will meet Thursday to discuss how they'll move forward with Central EMS. That provider says that they will also be at the meeting on Thursday.
A Sweet 16 party in Georgia turned deadly Saturday night. Investigators say more than 100 teenagers were at a home in Douglas County. Investigators say there was some sort of fight that resulted in 2 people getting killed and 6 others getting hurt from gunfire. One parent and another neighbor says they were feet away in their own homes before bullets started flying.
There was just a lot of kids. They said somebody had been shot in the head right here, and another boy was limping because he had been shot in the leg. I grabbed my son in the middle of the kitchen, and that's when I heard the bullet kind of pierce through the door. Within minutes of the bullets coming through, he literally just came down the stairs.
The Douglas County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information to come forward so they can bring the shooter or shooters to justice.
Last Friday, when storms hit the CSRA, one woman's home became unlivable in an instant after a tree came crashing down into her home. Since then, she has been trying to recover what she can. Countless others have seen storm damage firsthand, yet what can you do when your help runs out? We looked into some resources for those in need. It was pure shock for Tamika Baker when her phone rang last Friday.
I got a call from my neighbor saying that the tree had fell on the house.
She raced home late in the afternoon to look at the damage. What was your reaction to coming home and seeing all this?
I cried.
She cried because of where the tree came crashing down.
I figured it probably had did some damages because the tree had been here a long time. And when I walked in and I seen it, it mainly damaged a lot of stuff in my bedroom. I pray to God and thank him because it could have been worse.
Baker's left were nowhere to stay. She says Red Cross came in to help, but time and money are running out to find somewhere permanent to stay.
it can be harder for people in the rural communities because there are less resources there.
Susan Everett is the executive director of the Red Cross of East Central Georgia. Their job is to help families with long-term and short-term needs when storms roll through.
We just help the client get to whatever they need to get back to what their normal was.
And Everett says storm damage resources are hard to come by in rural communities.
That's another reason that, we need a lot of community partners, whether it's here in the Augusta-Richmond County or whether it's in one of our 23 outlying counties that we cover as well. It does truly take the whole community to be able to help.
And Baker says that she was renting the home at the time and did not have insurance. The Red Cross says that they have a full list of resources on their website. They also recommended gethelp.com, onbertha.com, or the United Way as some good resources to help families in need.
Wow, man.
Yeah, the tree was massive at her home.
Yeah. It is crossover day at the Georgia Capitol. That is the deadline for a bill to pass one of the two legislative chambers. Bills that fail to pass on crossover day, they can no longer be considered in this legislative session.
So,
wow, man.
Yeah, the tree was massive at her home.
Yeah. It is crossover day at the Georgia Capitol. That is the deadline for a bill to pass one of the two legislative chambers. Bills that fail to pass on crossover day, they can no longer be considered in this legislative session.
So bills addressing things like sports betting, gun violence in schools, and reforming the state's foster care policy are all on the table. State House reporter Abby Kasoris has an update on what's made it and what's dead for the year.
The Capitol is packed today with interested parties waiting to know the future of several issues in the state. The House and Senate debates are expected to go well into the night.
All those in favor of the resolution will vote yay, opposed nay.
One of the big ones on everyone's mind, sports betting. We've seen several bills this session, all a little different in their approach at making betting on sports legal.
I believe if Georgia wants to, the only fair way to do this is to amend the Constitution.
Today, Senate Resolution 140, which did call for a change to the state's constitution to allow wagering, did not get the necessary 2/3 vote. A similar bill, Senate Bill 172, was not voted on.
To let the people of Georgia vote on this issue. We're not little mini dictators up here dictating what the policy will always be.
This comes after Senate Bill 57, which called for online sports betting only and no change to the state's constitution. It failed overwhelmingly in the Senate last week. Meanwhile, House Bill 380, the only sports betting bill in the House, has yet to be scheduled for debate. While today's actions put legalized sports betting in jeopardy for yet another year, it's still possible it could be written into proposed legislation that has already passed one chamber of the General Assembly. A number of other big bills that were following have yet to be called for a debate. That includes House Bill 30, which will create a legal definition of anti-Semitism. We're also waiting on a vote from Senate Bill 140, which would prohibit healthcare providers from providing care for young people with gender dysphoria. There are 13 more days left in the session this year. The bills voted on today will head to the next chamber for a vote. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
In the last hour, AU celebrating its 45-year history with Forest Hills Golf Club. This is the new sculpture they unveiled. You can see the huge sculpture as a golf tee with a bunch of AU logos on it. It supports the Jaguars' successful men's and women's teams over the years. Coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 11, we hear from the university on why their relationship to the Forest Hills Golf Club is so important for their team's success.
Well, next on News 12 Live at 5, one Burt County high schooler is raising winners. We explain how coming up after the break. Riley?
And we're hanging on to warm weather one more day. Highs in the 80s for Tuesday, but a little bit cooler for the rest of the week's forecast. We'll have an update just after the break.
Funding for a new James Brown Arena is one step closer to happening. Hear what's next, coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
For years, she waited for her day in court to face the man indicted for molesting her as a child, only to find out her case was dismissed without warning. An I-Team investigation tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
If you want to get all the money you deserve, call George St. Kinsey Lawyers at all nines.
After 90 years in business, we're going to make some changes to all 3 of our locations, so it's time for Weinberger's edition of Extreme Home Makeover.
This is no ordinary clearance sale. This is extreme.
Weinberger's Furniture and Mattress Showcase is bringing the CSRA a great buying experience for your home.
Every in-stock item in our huge inventory is priced with extreme markdowns. Many items at or below our cost.
Come in now and take advantage of these huge savings.
And watch for the big reveal coming soon. At Chuckers, I'm gonna try
Weekend. Now, I say cooler, but this is honestly just kind of seasonal for this time of year. High temps will be in the 60s past tomorrow, low temps generally into the 40s, and then that rain is likely by Friday.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. One Burke County high schooler is raising livestock all by herself. Abby Joyner has been showing cows since she was in elementary school.
Now her skills are taking her to the state FAA convention. Arwell Volk stopped by her farm.
Come on, girls. You know, like, they're my best friends at this point. Like, they know me and I know them.
Abby Joyner's not your typical teenager. How many high school students do you know who run their own farm?
I started my herd all by myself, so it's just me. I'm a first-generation dairy farmer, so it's kind of cool to get to grow it from just me and me start the farm.
Abby now has 6 cows. She comes out here every day to take care of them.
For Abby to be raising and breeding and showing her own livestock, that's pretty awesome.
Abby's FFA advisor has known her since elementary school, back when she first started showing animals.
She's been a go-getter since I met her. I knew from the start that she was going to do great things.
All right, come on, girls.
And now she's going to the state FFA convention as a finalist.
I never thought when I started all this that it would get to this point, but it's definitely an adventure, and we're here for the ride now.
Abby Joyner rode with these cows to many shows, and now she's grateful for the chance to compete in a big one. On the farm, we'll vote on your side.
And that was the FFA convention, not the FAA convention. So we finally got that. But Abby will compete next month in dairy production entrepreneurship there.
Way to
That's pretty
go.
cool
Yeah,
stuff.
and after she's done with school, she wants to have a career, no surprise, in dairy. Good for her, though, for starting early. Chris Rock strikes back on a new Netflix special, and ex-royals make an appearance at Coronation. Your entertainment news is coming up.
Strikes back. Bad joke. Well, for the second year in a row, the Augusta University men's basketball team will cut down the nets at the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Dan Booth tells us who they're set to face coming up next in sports.
Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Comedian Chris Rock opening up about Will Smith's infamous slap. In a live Netflix show Saturday, Rock joked, "Anybody who says words hurt has never been punched in the face." Rock's Netflix show also made a little history as it was the platform's first live global streaming event.
It is official. King Charles has invited Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to his coronation. The coronation will be on May 6th at Westminster Abbey. A spokesman says the couple has not decided whether or not they will attend. If Harry shows up, it would be the first meeting between Charles and his younger son since Harry released his controversial best-selling book, Spare. All right, it is mission accomplished for the Gamecocks women's basketball team after clinching the SEC championship title. Will over here, very excited.
As Nick Proto would say, death, taxes, and Dawn Staley, baby.
The Gamecocks defeated Tennessee 74-58 in front of a packed crowd at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in downtown Greenville. This marked their 38th consecutive win, adding on to an already perfect season.
How about them Gamecocks? And let's keep the college basketball talk going, because this year, the road from the Southeast to the Elite Eight in the Division II men's college basketball tournament is running through right here in Augusta. By winning the Peach Belt Conference tournament for the second year in a row, the Augusta University men's basketball team became one of the #1 seeds in the NCAA tournament, giving them the chance to host the Southeast region of the bracket. In the first round, the Jaguars will face Emmanuel College inside Christenberry Field Fieldhouse on Saturday at 5 o'clock. In addition to hosting the games of their own in their tournament, this evening the Jaguars are playing host to the West Side boys basketball team. The Patriots are a handful of days away from playing in the Class 2A state championship game. Practicing at Christenberry Fieldhouse gives them the feel for playing in a bigger arena before they hit the court in Macon for state. West Side will be looking to repeat as state champions on Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock against Providence Christian Academy Storm, and we'll hear from both the West Side Patriots and the Augusta Jaguars ahead of their big games tonight at 11. For now, that's it for sports. We'll have more after this quick break.
Insurance companies, shits.
A big congrats to the Augusta Junior players who have returned home from Lexington, Kentucky as the runners-up at the Southeastern Theater Conference. The cast of Sister Act Junior competed against adult community theater groups from 10 other states.
The show was also honored with Best Set Design, Best Actress, and an honorable mention for the Best Actor and Best Actress. An incredible accomplishment for any group, but especially one with kids as young as 12 and 13 years old.
Yeah, and at the conference, the high school juniors and seniors auditioned for more than 75 colleges. Some got as many as 55 callbacks. They did not have time to do all the interviews, which was certainly a good problem to have, but some scholarships secured and some theater programs entered on this incredible weekend. So congratulations to them. That's an amazing
That's awesome.
group of kids.
Absolutely. Big congratulations.